You know, I found Dr. Ford's testimony to be very compelling, but I also found Judge Kavanaugh's testimony to be very compelling as well. And you know, this is part of what makes these kinds of cases such heart-wrenching, because you know, oftentimes it can come down to he said, she said, and it's hard enough to prove something that happened or may have happened yesterday, let alone 36 years ago.
Having known and worked with survivors of sexual assault, and honestly being one myself, there are lots of reasons that people don't really report the things that happen to them at the time that they happen, lots of things that sort of scare people away, and even just to hear her say, you know, I wasn't going to say anything until I absolutely knew that he was a real candidate, because she didn't want to bring that sort of attention to herself, I think is the exact sort of sentiment that a lot of people have felt in sort of having to bring allegations, especially against people in positions of power.
I think he did make a strong point when he was talking, a point which I very much agree with, that due process really is a very significant cornerstone of our country and our country's legal system. And because really all we have today is not so much evidence, but more so testimony, which, you know, since it was so long ago, it's not incredibly credible, although they sound very confident in their answers.
I'm glad that Justice Kavanaugh is being very combative. I think that those members that are of the Senate that are getting ready to vote need to see that. They need to see the unpolished, like, this is who you're dealing with, and this is who you're going to have to answer to your constituency, to your kids, to this country, of who you put on the Supreme Court.
I think the most striking part was her talking about how she didn't want to come forward, how she has nothing to gain from this, but knowing that sort of someone leaked her testimony and she was forced to come forward. And I think that for me was a really painful part, because it just unleashed hell on her and her family.